in theaters now from Bleecker Street is the British comedy Zaz-like spoof of Downton Abbey-esque stuff entitled, going to pronounce this one carefully, FACKHAM Hall. If you pronounce that quickly with a certain British accent, it sounds like something else. Watch the trailer. It's in the trailer. They say it in the trailer. I'm not going to say it here because I can say whatever I want on YouTube, but for public access TV, I keep it clean for the youth, the elderly, and the clergy. So this is a film directed by Jim O'Hanlon. It is co-written by British comedian Jimmy Carr and his brother, amongst some other people. The idea was Jimmy Carr and his brother, and then they and some other people wrote this film. And it is basically a super silly spoof of, and dirty spoof of Downton Abbey, where everybody plays it dead straight. I say Zaz-like, if you don't know what I mean. Zucker, Abrahams, and Zucker, the people who did Airplane and Naked Gun and Top Secret and stuff like that, Police Squad, where everybody plays it straight, but what's going on is incredibly silly, very anachronistic things occasionally being done or said, super goofy things, and pratfalls in the background while somebody is speaking seriously, somebody's falling down a staircase in the background, that kind of stuff. I saw the initial trailer for this and I thought, oh, this looks funny. And then I went to show my lady the trailer, and I was embarrassed. I was like, yeah, this seems really forced. So I went to see this with not high hopes. I went to see this hopeful because we don't get a lot of comedies in theaters, and what we do get is usually just really pretty stupid. This could fall into that category. People call, the Airplane movies stupid or dumb humor. I think they're very actually clever and terribly well written. This sadly did not work for me. I love British comedy, going back to 60s, 50s, 60s British comedy. Huge fan of Python, and this is Pythonic in some ways. Fawlty Towers, the Carry On films, even contemporary British comedy. I'm a big fan of Jimmy Carr. He's actually playing close to where I live very soon. I haven't got tickets yet. I really should do that. And I was very hopeful, and a very strong cast. I'll give you some of the names. Damian Lewis, who some would be surprised to know is British. Tom Felton. Young Draco Malfoy is not so young anymore. He's funny in this. Thomasin McKenzie, who I initially saw in Last Night in Soho, which was like my favorite movie the year that came out. Katherine Waterson, who you'd recognize, and a raft. Jimmy Carr is actually in it. Jimmy Carr is in it, and his gag is very funny, but they do it too many times. It's in the trailer where he's reading something and basically he says something as a priest that sounds very rude or dirty, and then he looks and he realizes he forgot to put the period between two sentences. But they do it like 6 times, and it's a funny idea, but I feel like watching it after that first time, it's like, okay, well, I kind of get the gag. I really wanted to like this. I just didn't find it very funny. Other people might. It was a sparsely attended show. It was a weekday matinee, 4:30 on a Thursday, so there aren't going to be that many people there anyway, but really nicely shot, nicely performed, strong cast, nice period setting, nice estate that they shot it on, nice widescreen too. You don't get a lot of comedies that are in CinemaScope, but it just didn't land for me. Like, I kept wanting to like it more than I did. Maybe if you are a bigger fan than I am of Downton Abbey and things like that, it would be funnier. It's very crude. It's crude, but it's like upper crusty crude. Like, it's not really visibly gross or salacious. It's just a lot of things people say deadpan or with a smile is just really inappropriate. You have the grandmother character, the elder statesman, female elder statesman character is constantly just speaking in like internet lingo, sick burn, man. And it just wasn't funny to me. There's a scene where they're in this room where the male help lives, and it's like a bedroom or a bunkhouse or whatever, and there's a train spotting poster on the wall that isn't commented on. It's just like, I just didn't find it funny, which is a shame because I really like a lot of the people involved in this. Your mileage may vary. The other people in the theater did snicker on occasion. I heard a couple occasional laughter, but I felt like, I don't want to say I feel like the best stuff was in the trailer, but let's say this. If you watch the trailer twice and find that very funny, you will probably like FACKHAM Hall. I wanted it to be better than it was, and for me it wasn't. I'm glad this is in theaters here, even despite not loving it. I love that we can get British movies in a theater alongside the movies that suck up 11 of the 20 screens. When I say that, mini side note beef. I love movie theaters. I love going to the movies. I love that people are going to the movies. I love any film that gets a lot of people into theaters and makes theaters money so that they can stay open, whether it's something I care for or not. What I don't love is for the week or so that these films open, they're shown on multiple screens so that you can get a showtime like every 15 minutes. And it means if you're like me and you go to the theater a lot, you don't have a lot of variety in what you can see. If you've seen most of what there is, you're just like, I don't care about these 2 movies that are sucking up the majority of the screens, and I'm left with this other stuff. Anyway, that is all to say, I'm glad my local AMC chose to put this on their screen. Even though I didn't like it, I'm glad I had the opportunity to see it. So in theaters now, streaming probably by the time you read this, I don't think this is going to play very wide for very long, is FACKHAM Hall.